Today, Arsenal fans, look away because we are giving Spurs that trophy they've been chasing for years. The ultimate bottle club, the trophyless club. We are going to bring something home. I'm going to do a rebuild. I'm giving 125 million to Spurs and I'm going to see how the AI does it. And if you've seen the challenge before, I will then rebuild, and in one season, we will see what I do with the money, and let's see who can do better. Tend to beat the AI, but it's interesting to see the levels and differences in terms of signings and that. But that is enough said. Let's have a look at how the AI did. So first thing to look at is, well, the noticeable thing on my screen actually, is Arsenal won the title. So maybe Arsenal fans, I don't know, maybe you can look after all. I don't know. But to keep it very simple, Spurs... they finished 66 points, 5th. Coefficiency means they did get the Champions League spot. So they've actually smashed it, to be honest. They've set a very high benchmark. 66 points is what we're going to take it down to. So we'll compare how many points I got and everything there as well. Let's actually have a look at how they did in other competitions. FA Cup, they got knocked out in the semi-finals. Also semi-finals in the Europa League. This is going to be difficult to beat. I'm not going to lie to you. This is going to be difficult. And they got 4th round in the Carabao Cup. Listen, they have set a very high benchmark. That is a lot of work to do. But obviously, we're probably going to use the money a little bit different to them. Let's have a look at how they've actually used the money. That will be probably the best way to look at this. So, in terms of money spent... ignore obviously the amounts. There's all these amounts from before, and obviously when they do it all. Let me show you from where I believe that they started signing. Should be here. So they brought in Ginter to start with, which is pretty good signing, near 21 mil. Obviously a free transfer here in as well. Just a small little signing. This looks more of a signing for the future at 21. Obviously over here a little loan signing. Just small little signings here, to be fair. Just bringing in some young players. But again, going big with 42 mil over here for a winger. Which is where I kind of thought was a big option, really. You needed to get in for this team. And then obviously going again with a central attacking mid. But I don't actually think that was necessarily huge. And they've seemed to sign a striker, mixed winger, which again is something that I had to go and do as well. Them doing again around 20 mil. Let's call that 50. We're looking here 70, 20. You're having a real work into my brain here of how it all goes. But we're looking at about 90 odd million there. Extra bits here, about 100. In total, they've spent around their 125 mil without really having anyone leaving. So to be fair, good start for them. Pretty decent. They did better than Forest one did. If you saw the previous video, if not, click on the channel, go check it out. Why not? Go have a look at that. They did a lot better than them because they just didn't use their money at all. Can't help them. But let's have a look at what I've done. That's the best way to do this right now. I'll show you how I did in the league so far after that kind of summer window and what signings I did, and then we'll look towards the end of the season. Alright, so this is how the start of the season has gone for me. So far sat 4th after the first 3 games. Did lose away to Newcastle, but winning the first 2 games against Liverpool, which is pretty huge, and obviously Wolves here as well. Pretty solid start. None of the other competitions have started yet, but I'll show you what signings I have made so you can see what I've done with the money. So my signings start from here, and I kind of I wanted to shore up the midfield for the new system, and then also then I needed to add a little bit to the attack, and then I had a little money left over, so I'll show you here. So I brought in Zambo Anguissa, struggled there as well. Look at his stats. I mean, they're pretty solid for what I needed him for. I didn't really feel like they had the strength in attacking mid that I really wanted, so I went with this to add to shore that up, and also he can cover in the DM role. I actually just raided Napoli. If you can have a quick look here, 38 mil and 55 mil. They got their money. They got their money's worth there as well. But look at them stats. I couldn't say no. I really couldn't. It's absolutely solid. It was a great thing. Obviously, if I was actually here for the next 5-6 years, I probably wouldn't invest the money that way. I would build the team a little bit different, a lot more youth. But I needed somebody impact instantly because Spurs have actually got the young players for the distance anyway. So I had the backup players. I kind of just needed someone to build instantly. So that's what he went with. Obviously Barbosa, brought him in, just a bit of cover there as well, because again he was on a free. Needed a fullback, just a basic fullback, just to cover both sides. He was just purely a backup. And then I went and got Jonathan Tah. Now I was a bit unsure about this signing. I and ahed a little bit, but I had the money left and I didn't really want to spend it anywhere else. I had a position left on the roster, so why not? All in all, I think he's a pretty solid player. I think he does pretty well. But let me show you the team and how I built it. So as you can see here, this is why I wanted to build these two in midfield. I did put Maddison out wide. As I mentioned before, I was very interested in signing a winger, but I couldn't really find a winger that lit my eyes up a little bit, and I had to play Maddison. I couldn't not in my heart play Maddison. So I put Maddison on the left there as well. In an inside forward role, I meant Kulusevski on a more aggressive inverted winger. And I wanted a centre mid in here as well. Just someone who's going to just kind of get about, do a little bit of everything and just do a role. And it worked perfectly with the stats of Lobotka. And obviously a box to box here because he's just got the stats. If I show you here, his stats for box to box, they just worked perfectly for me. They were just absolutely all round. Great balance, strength in there. He could add a little bit of finishing, but the composure, along with his passing and tackling, he just kind of had it all. So why on earth not? And I brought Tah in solid that role because I'm just not convinced with Van de Ven when it comes to FM. That I struggle with players I like in real life to drop them on a game. I don't know if anyone else goes through that, but I really struggle with stuff like that. But that being said, you can see we kind of had the fullbacks anyway. The centre-back partnership and the keeper was there. I went with a nice simple DM role because either of these can drop in and do that if needed. But this is what we built it with. And Son had to be up front. Them stats, I just can't not play him up front. Absolutely just unreal, to be honest. But that is what I did with the money. That is how I built up this team. And last thing to show you really is how the season ended. So we already know what they did in the league and the cups. They set a very high bar. But can we beat it? Well, let me show you. And even though they set a very high bar, as you can see, we did beat them. Only losing the league on 3 points, getting an extra 15 points in, which was absolutely incredible. And if you just have a little look to your right, as we'll see here, I lost 3-1 last game of the season away to Brentford, and Man City won 3-0 away to Villa. And as you're noticing, we lost by that point there. If we would have simply won last game of the season, we would have won the league. Is that not the most Spurs thing you've ever seen? Oh, we absolutely threw it away last game of the season, but I would say it's a pretty successful league run. I can't really complain with that. Son was right up there with the 18 goals. Assists here with both Papasar and Kulusevski was right in the mix. Couldn't really complain. I'm going to be really honest with you. That was pretty solid. But in Spurs fashion, lost the league last game of the season. Threw it all away. But did we win anything? I did say I come here to win stuff. And, well, the answer... let me show you. So the answer to that question, as this is the Europa League final, is yes. Winning 2-0. So a nice little convincing win against Napoli, the team that we robbed everything from. Winning 2-0 in the Europa League final. We have a cup. But did we win anything else? How did we do? Well, it wasn't necessarily plain sailing. In the Carabao Cup, we only managed to get to the quarterfinals. Don't know, clearly can't read. Quarterfinals before losing to Brighton 2-0. Who actually did go on to lose in the final to Man United. But there's still the FA Cup. There's still the drama and excitement of all that I'm sure you're gripping to your seats right now, wondering, did I win that as well? Surely I haven't won 2 cups. 2 cups for the mighty Spurs, the ultimate bottlers. Well, I can show you. Oh, yes, we did. We won it. Mighty Son. Oh, I love that man, honestly. I love him in real life as well, I can't lie to you. A 3-0 win in the FA Cup final to round off our season. Son, big deflection. It was given as an own goal. But this guy, absolutely on form all season. And Brennan Johnson against his old team, rounding it all off. That gives us 2 trophies, meaning that when you look at it all together, in terms of when we look at the grand scheme of it, us versus the AI, in the league, we did better them. We managed to finish 2nd to their 5th. gaining an extra 15 points. And then in the Carabao Cup, we managed to get to the quarterfinals, whereas they only made it to the 4th round, so we bettered them there as well. In the FA Cup, we won it, and they only managed to get to the semi-final. I say only, still a big feat. And again in the Europa League, they made it to a semi-final. We won it as well. So we won 2 trophies. We bettered them in all competitions, including the league. I would say that was a big success. Everyone's happy. But we're going to go to some other teams. Maybe it's Sevilla. Go to some other teams abroad. Comment down below kind of amounts you think I should give these teams, because it's hard to translate obviously abroad as well, because it's not necessarily all the same. But again, if you go to Spain, you've got to manage to try to topple the likes of Madrid and that as well. So comment down below what you think I should do. Give me an amount, the challenge. If there's any other challenges I should try, fire them down below. Join the Discord. That link is in the description, so you can check the Discord and give me some challenges in there as well. Wherever you want to do it, it's all appreciated. Most importantly, like the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps me so much. This was a success. The next one might not be, but I'm going to go with some kind of crazy formations and stuff as well, maybe mix it up a little bit. But again, let me know what you want to see. That is all from me today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.